We got a new fresh face on the links right now. You've, I'm sure, heard of him. Remember the name Rory McIlroy, because you're going to start seeing his face and hearing all about him all over the place. A 22-year-old from Northern Ireland won this weekend's U.S. Open tournament in Maryland and broke 2 scoring records along the way. Now he is being compared to Tiger Woods, who won his first major tournament back in 1997 when he was just 21. And McIlroy has a lot of new fans to go along with his trophy on the internet, at least. His website crashed yesterday, and if you Google his name, the first related search that comes up is Rory McIlroy girlfriend. Actually, you said that that changed this morning?
Yes, well, his name is there, is the first thing, and the girlfriend is still on there. It's still a very popular option for searches.
Well, they say golfers, they make a lot of money. They earn good livings if they're at his level. You know what's really great is that he is a hometown boy. He is from Northern Ireland. He came from a working class. He wasn't manor born. His father, they say, during his ascent, worked 100 hours a week cleaning toilets and tending bars so that he could achieve this. They had no guarantee that he was going to either, but you have to appreciate that. And he just hugged his parents and said, his father, who was with him, thank you so much for everything you've done.
I remember researching him during the Masters, and just finding his whole story really interesting. And I don't know, he kind of makes golf exciting, and I am not a huge fan of watching golf. It's kind of what I put on when I want to take a nap. But he was interesting to watch.
He is. He is bringing that element that the networks count on. CBS needs that to have them draw all sorts of crowds to watch the game. So we'll have to see. Rory McIlroy.
He should really get an easier to pronounce name.
Not so much. Okay, here's one for parents. Do you monitor the games and the movies that your kids play? Well, if you don't, you're not alone. 3 new surveys found that parents think the current rating system for movies, TV shows, and video games not accurate, so they just don't follow it. Only about half of the parents follow the rating system for movies, and only a third use it for video games and television. Many parents say the ratings don't coincide with what they feel is appropriate, and they would like a more universal system that also rates music and websites. The websites part, I'm not so sure. That's going to be very difficult.
Very, very difficult, just because you can't really control so much of what's on the internet. I also think ratings in general, as most parents say, you can't make something universal. It's so subjective, and what you think is appropriate for your children, other parents may not find appropriate for their own. So I guess looking at it more like a guideline would help.
Absolutely, and I agree with that, because when we watch movies, I usually look and see if it's R-rated, it's almost an automatic no. PG-13, though, some of them I think really don't need the PG-13. Others I think could have been more towards the R-rated. So it is very subjective, as you said. We'll have to see if the new one is created.
Yes.
All right, how about this one? Imagine getting set up on a blind date by your iPhone. Do you trust that? That's right. iPhones could soon turn into matchmakers, those little buggers. Apple recently filed a patent application for an app that would ultimately help users find dates and make new friends. The app would allow users to opt in and use your current location as well as your public data, including downloaded songs, shared photos, and places you've traveled to pair you up with local compatible individuals. I can see that as friends, but I'm not sure about matchmaking, because you know a lot of times your mate is not somebody who you are just compatible with in certain things like music choice or preferences, dinner, foods, that type of thing.
It's like the high fidelity quote. It doesn't matter what you are like, it matters more what you do like.
Exactly.
And this app is going completely on that. I also think it would be a little creepy if somebody came up to me and was like, hey, I see you like this movie, you want to go out? I would, oh, no thank you.
What happened to that human element too? It's almost, you know, the texting took over the part where you actually converse, and now you don't even talk to somebody to get to know somebody.
You just
That's a fun
find them on your phone.
Dating, right?
I know. It's very strange. It's changing.
Yes, lots of things changing these days.
Now, something that you did again this year that you've done often, you had great weather for.
You're a runner. Yesterday was a perfect day. We did the Jog for the Jake, and this year for the first time, and it's the last time for the Jog for the Jake, my entire family, my 2 kids and my husband and I, we all ran together. Now, the Jog for the Jake, I emceed the event. I have since it was incepted, but 10 years ago. This, as I said, is the final year. There's my son. ran for the first time. I was right behind him. The successful fundraiser reached its goal of raising more than $1 million for the Jacobs Neurological Institute. Now, the jog is in memory of the late Dr. Lawrence Jacobs, a pioneer in MS research. My family, as you saw, ran, and my husband and daughter, I don't know if you're going to see them. They were actually ahead of us, so we aren't going to show them.
Well, it looks like you guys were doing great. You were flying.
Well, you know what? He did a great job. He's only 10, and it was his first race. He doesn't really run or jog, but he was good. Almost twice around the park is hard.
It is. That's long.
And the jog for the Jacobs Neurological Institute, Dr. Jacobs was a leader in MS research. Highest incidence of MS is right here in Western New York, and the family is committed and was committed to raising that money. They did. You never know, though, they say. In some form or fashion, the jog for the Jake may return next year, so stay tuned.
I hope.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we've got some other things to talk about right now.
We do.